All right, back to Google Slideshows. We're going to do a little bit more with the background, kind of finish that up. Find my slideshow again, make another copy. And there we go. Okay. Change all of this before we get started. So like I showed you in the last video, you can make your backgrounds the same for all of your slides. You can make them different for all of your slides. That's totally up to you. One thing to keep in mind though, when you are doing a background on a slideshow, you have to remember that this is going to be up on a screen for people to see. The whole point of a slideshow is to present it to others. So if you make your background super bright and colorful and busy, it's going to make people's eyes really tired. So you want to try to make it soothing, at least in some parts, like, cute little kitten, but also able to be seen when you do your words or other things on top. So if you put a text box right here and type something, you can see it, but it's not the best, easiest thing to see. If you put it up here, I can't even see the words. Now, if I do a picture that's got lots of different variations or a background color that's got lots of variations, then it's going to be even harder for me to see my words. So I have to be super careful and conscious when I make the color of the font so that it's easier to be seen. Now, if this background was more variations of light and dark colors, I would have to do a little bit more work on my font, which we can get into another time. I'm going to insert another slide and go back into our background. Remember that when we did our background in our Google drawings, we added all of our extra gradient stops right here and made it super colorful. We're going to do that, but I'm only going to add a couple of colors like I did on our Google drawing. I'm going to make it look like the sky. There we go. And grass. And I want it to be pretty close, but not right on top of each other so that I can see some, looks like the horizon in the background is just a teeny bit faded. So it looks like it's going off into the distance. So now once I've got this is one of the cool things you can do with Google Slides is that you can make something happen on your slide. So I'm going to make my little person and change the color of my little person. I'm just going to do heads just for ease of showing you what to do. Now, I actually want two people, but I don't want them to be on at the same time. There are several different ways I can make this happen. The first one is by making a copy of this slide. Actually, sorry, I'm just going to make one copy. Let's backspace that. Get rid of a slide, you press backspace. Remember, if you accidentally do something, oh no, I got rid of my slide, just undo. No big deal. Okay, I'm going to put my little person right there. So when I view my slideshow right there, I can just barely see him. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate. So click on the slide over here, Control D, and move him over just a couple steps using my arrow. I'm using the arrows and not using my mouse just so I make sure I keep him on the same level. If I use my mouse and move, it can go up and down a little bit more easily than just using my arrow keys on my keyboard. Click, arrow, duplicate, click, arrow, duplicate. And I keep doing that until I've got my person where I want him to be. Now, this way is kind of fun. I can control it very easily. I could even do, instead of doing one arrow click over, I can do, or sorry, instead of doing two, I can do one. But it also makes a lot of slides. It's fun to do, but it makes tons of slides. Look, I'm already on 14 and we haven't done anything except move in. Okay. Now, if I go back here and I click present, clicked on my slide here, click present up in the corner, and then use my arrows, it looks like he's moving. I can also do the exact same thing, but with only one slide. Okay, I'm going to go here and backspace all of these extra slides and just keeping the one. I'm actually going to move him all the way over to the edge. Actually, no, I'm not. Sorry, I'm going to put him where I want him. Okay, now I make sure I click somewhere else on the screen so there's no blue lines. I'm going to click right here where it says transition. I don't want a slide transition, but I do want to do a transition for my little person here, an animation rather. So I click on him, make sure I've got the blue line around him where the computer doesn't know what I want. I click add animation. I want him to fly in from the left. So fly in from left. I want it to happen after previous. On click means I have to click the mouse for the action to happen. After previous means as soon as the thing that happened before is done, it will start. So in this case, as soon as the slide changes to this slide, it will happen. If I do with previous, that means two things are going to happen at the exact same time. I want it to be after previous. I don't need my paragraph because there's no words. We'll do that in a minute. And then the speed, how fast do I want him to go? And it actually shows you how many seconds it will take. Now, keep in mind, if you're doing this as a presentation for someone, do you want everything to go like, 5 seconds long? 5 seconds doesn't seem like a long time, except when you have 14 things happening. Then it becomes a really long time. So keep that in mind. You can also play it to see how long it's going to take. Okay, so I'm going to go here, click, and it kind of took a long time. So I can do a couple different things. I can change where he's coming in from. I can change how long it's taking, when it starts. If I change it from after previous to with previous, and let's try that. You can play around with it as much as you want to. A little bit faster, okay? It just depends on what you want your story to say. If you're telling a story or doing a theme or giving information, you need to make sure you're keeping your audience in mind. Now, once I've done that, I can actually add another person in, and we'll get to that in the next video so you can see how it looks when you add more characters into your slideshow.